All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you guys a quick second to come in. Let me just post this link very quickly on on LinkedIn. Hold on. This would be a introduction for Mr. Wesley M. I want to welcome everybody that is able to attend, and we'll go from here. Let me make sure that I post this there, and let me see if I can just copy this link, right? And then I can send it directly. So, all right. So he has the link. Um, First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for passing by, taking out of your valuable time. This is going to be a quick dialogue where we're going to discuss a few basic things. And this particular gentleman is traveling, most likely on business. So this is my way to do an introduction video to basically see if um, if there's any interest in my project. Hold on. This is gonna fall. This is no good. Again, my son would completely leave this. I'm gonna move this out of the way because it looks a little bit thing in the space that we have to record. Okay. So basically, let me start by introducing myself. I brought a cup of coffee, just like my podcast and my radio show. I always um, prefer the format of conversation style, right? So we're just gonna have a quick talk. We're just gonna go over a few things. So, as most of you know, my name is Jonathan Marte Pena. I am the artist known as Venom R1. Um, Let me make sure I put this in my feed so that when people go to my LinkedIn, they're able to see that I'm live. So basically, this is what I have going on. Um, Mr. Wesley, you're aware of blockchain, NFT technology. So I really appreciate your insight. Um, I appreciate what you have done in this industry, right? Well, basically, everything that I'm aspiring to do deals with blockchain technology, um, basically Web3, et cetera, et cetera. Um, what I'm attempting to do, to put it in the most basic terms, is to break the NFT record, which stands at a little bit over $120 million dollars. Highest selling, highest grossing NFT. Um, Prior to that, the record was held by Beeples Every Day. Differences are that Beeples Every Day is a singular NFT, whereas the current record holder is a collective of 30,000 units. So when I started to establish these records and break some of these records, I faced many challenges, which were the things that drove me to the technology for, you know, NFT technology. Music business, music industry is two totally different things. I've always stayed in the music business side, not in the music industry side. Even though I'm an artist, I'm also an entrepreneur, very tech savvy. I own a technology company. I decided to go on the blockchain instead of going through an avenue like World's Guinness Records, is instant verification, etc. I quickly learned that, you know, Guinness is a business, just like anything else. Same politics I found in the music industry, I found with Guinness. Um, After hitting that first initial roadblock, because I had broken so many records, I didn't understand that every single time you break or establish a record, you have to file a different application and you have to go through this process. This process overall is pretty much slow to impossible to actually, you know, accomplish. I didn't know these things when I started to really get into this technology, and eventually I decided to just go about it on my own. Little bit of time passed. I tried to do the same thing that people did, you know, which is go to Christie's, go to Sotheby's, found the same politics. They wanted me to bring in a third party, something that I was 100% not interested in doing. Long story short, you know, life goes on. Decided to host the event myself. Started looking into venture capital firms. Began speaking with some people. Went to some consulting agencies. Didn't really like what I found. And being that the technology is so new and advanced, and you know, it would take time for people to adapt it to the day to day life, right? When raising capital, I decided to build a team that could help me attempt this record. And this is where everybody comes in. This is where you will come in. This is where everybody will come in. I'm assembling a team not only for the sale of the NFT. The event can be as elaborate and complex or as simple as it needs to be. For example, when raising capital, many investment firms ask me, you know, how much money do you need? How much money do you want? Are you willing to negotiate terms or equity? And the network of the high net worth individuals that had passive income and capital to invest was more important than necessarily the financial amount. Obviously, there's different options, there's different ways for me to do it. But the core breakthrough is having the opportunity to host the auction through Christie's or Sotheby's, even if it requires the building of a foundation or platform to be able to do that. The sale of the NFT is only the beginning. Many venture capital firms are not necessarily inclined to invest in cryptocurrencies, anything that's decentralized. Um, Many investment firms want jurisdiction in the United States, which is something that, because my background is military, of course, Space Force and Air Force, I wanted to make sure that I had jurisdiction in the United States. Now, besides the event of the auction of the NFT, there's other verticals and other horizontals that could generate passive income, cash flow, to basically repay back whatever the investment is. And it's all open for negotiations because this is not a situation where we need all the money in the world. I've spoken to venture capital firms with budgets of five, $600 million. The same way I've spoken to venture capital firms that have two or $300 million. Same way I've spoken to venture capital firms that have 50 million plus. This is not a situation of a one-time thing. The best benefit is that putting together an event, return on investment is the day of the sale, the day of the auction. Everything that stems from that is something I'm willing to consider by percentage points, by basis points, depending on the structure of the actual investment. So, because I'm an artist and I've amassed this amazing catalog of music, revenue will be produced from retailing uh, in every digital and physical potentiality of all of these songs, records. There's many things: royalties, copyrights, publishing, sync deals, licensing deals, etc. There's many other things that stem after the auction of the commemorative NFT, which, by the way, does not include any intellectual property. So I need to make that very clear. Um, Many of the people that I have communicated with may necessarily not be able to work in the project directly, but perhaps indirectly, in the sense that many of them are consultants. They have specialized education and training. And right now, I may not have the budget to pay them for their services. But within the proposal, when seeking venture capital, I can include them into the strategy budget portion of the investment that I'm trying to put together. Um, I am a one man army and a one man team, but I do have an army of people exactly like me that are specialized in certain key fields. For example, my legal department, it's a complete law firm that handles all kinds of you know intellectual properties, digital properties, things dealing with the blockchain, etc. In the same way that we have consultants that deal with just publishing and just marketing or promotion or distribution or publicity. So this project is really based on the inclination to have the initial auction, but also looking forward to the opportunities that have already presented themselves and will present themselves after the auction. So, as we speak, my music catalog is over 5,000 songs, a little over 8,000 by some metrics. Obviously, those are things that we would discuss with potential investors privately. But this is something that we're aspiring to do in the coming days, coming weeks. Um, we obviously want the best of the best. We want people that we can completely vet. Uh, Again, my background is Air Force, Space Force, so we're not able to just do business with anybody under any circumstances. Even a portion of the budget of the money that we are raising will be to make sure that we hire nothing but the best in every field, in every industry trade that pertains to what we're doing. So we're already building value in the proposal, in the pitch deck, in the business plan. Um, if we put it in car terms, if this investment is an elite investment, right? In the automotive world, You consider brands such as Rolls Royce and Bentley, for example, right? Think about everything that pertains to our industry. We are building it in from inception to only seek out those companies and those individuals that are equivalent to what you would see in a brand like Rolls Royce or a brand like Bentley. Meaning, when you look at those vehicles, they use the best of the best equipment, best facilities, best components, best manufacturing processes. We are building everything from the ground up using nothing but the best. So, for example, um, my legal staff is comprised of several legal teams, and they're all special in their specific concentration. We're not going to cut corners by hiring one lawyer or one law firm when what we're doing diversifies into so many other fields. We want to make sure that we are building a solid foundation in every step of the way, even if it costs more money, even if it takes more time. This is not something that we're trying to do overnight. For the actual auction, would I like to work with Christie's and Sotheby's? Absolutely. Under the terms that they offered me, absolutely not. And if there can be no compromise, then all of my potential investors will be privy. They will be fully aware that I have 100% complete control, creative and executive, and that I would make that decision if and when to host the auctions privately, meaning us as a company, me as a brand and as a franchise, outside of any corporate structure. Um, Creative control, executive control is number one essential uh, element, non negotiable. I am the artist. I am the initial investor. I am the brand. I own the catalog. I have zero debts. This is not my only company. This is not my only investment. This is one of many inside of many portfolios. Whomever is involved in the project or whomever invests will be exposed to my entire portfolio. They will have early access to every other opportunity. Um, the value of the catalog is something that we've developed a technology to be able to determine on a second by second basis. It is based on specified algorithms pertaining to our technology. And these are all things that we are bringing to the table for all investors. We are in the process of finalizing the special key components, the special people, the special teams we will need to go 1 million trillion percent into vetting every investment firm, venture capital firm, or angel investor. The reason for this is because we want to make sure that what we're offering potential business partners or investors or investment firms or venture capital firms, whatever uh, source of funding or financing, we are offering them the absolute best. And that means beating out whatever the markets are offering currently, because everything that we do as a technology company is based on day-to-day data, meaning we are preparing an investment for the next few days, few weeks, few months based on this year's metrics. Even though we may use examples from several cycles, quarters, or years prior to us forming this investment. Um, with everything that's going on with trades and tariffs and things of that nature, those are all things that we're already overcompensating for from inception, from the actual design. So that should give you all of the bases in order to consider if this is something that you may be interested in, whether it's as an advisor, a concierge, maybe a consultant, a uh, special training specialist in whatever you may bring to the table, directly or indirectly. We are able to set a budget aside for, you know, something that is specific to a task within the project or the project itself, or moving forward in a limited liability partnership. Um, Besides that, let me share with you some of the key components on the business side. We want to be incorporated in the United States of America under jurisdiction of the United States of America, even if we have investment capital from overseas. We're not necessarily interested in venture capital from overseas, but if it does become available, it's something we will consider. We want to pay top dollar for the top tier legal teams to handle each specific element of what we're trying to do. So if there's a lawyer that has a proven track record and charges $100,000 for a consultation instead of 15 or 20,000, we're not going to go to the lawyer that charges 15 to 20,000. We're going to go to the specialist or the lawyer or the law firm that charges 100,000 because we are making it a standard, a priority to have the best of the best. Um, that would be the same with everything that we do. If we have a corporate office, it's going to be five corners of the world in the most exclusive elite real estate available. If there's a process that we need or processes, hardware, software, we are going to build it in by design to have the best of the best. In this case, let's say, for example, a Hopper system from NVIDIA, to give you an example. We're not going to go get anything that's below the best of the best. We're building a $1 trillion company here. So we're not going to skimp, not even on a number two pencil in anything that we do. Um, it could be something as simple as building a team for licensing and sync deals. We're not going to cheap out or look for anything less than is already a proven history and track record. We want the best of the best. Like there is no other standard for everything that we're doing, whether it's jurisdiction, whether it's hardware, software, whether it's personnel, people that are specialized in their industry, their trade, their field. We only want the best of the best because this moment in history and time, this is a historical event that will live for all eternity. And we understand what we're up against and what the challenges are to be able to achieve these goals. It will not be uh, affordable to be able to connect with the universe in order to seek out the correct investors so that we can market this event and all these products and services to the people that are in that ultra elite, high net worth, you know, individuals that are looking for this type of technology that want to be part of this historical moment, which is once in our lifetime. No other artist, no other record label, no other technology company has the catalog that I have myself. This is my life's legacy. This is not about putting together an event and walking away from the company. This is a long term investment. This is a journey where I only want the best of the best to be involved, to be a part of it, so that we can do it independently without depending on any known systems, meaning we don't have to rely on a Spotify or an iTunes because we are building our own. We don't have to just rely on OpenSea or Rarible because we're establishing our own everything from scratch. So again, I'm in the automotive business. If I put it in car terms, automotive terms, I want the best chassis, the best engine, the best transmission, the best software and hardware integrated into everything that I do. There is no other substitute. I want the best composites. I want the best performance componentry that I can put together based on my designs to hit the road. If we were talking about car terms, I want my car to be able to race against the best of the best that is available, not only to compete but to win. This is all new technology. This investment is not for everybody. This investment is for vetted, accredited investors only. We are making it a choice to pay top dollar, to be able to seek out the best of the very best in everything that we do for this event and for all the other investments that are to come. We are pre revenue. This is pre seed. This is all brand new. I am the only owner, investor, everything when it comes to this project. And we aim to break the record. Once again, the current record stands at $120 million. What people did with 5,000 images, I did with music. I have over 5,000 songs. I would like to put together an event to sell the commemorative 5,000 song uh, catalog as an NFT. The NFT does not have any intellectual property in the same way that Beeple's Everyday did not contain any intellectual property. This investment, this project is only for that event. The other opportunities that are to follow, those are the things that we will discuss further down the line when we decide how we're going to fund and finance those other ventures. Because obviously, once these records are established and they're verified, not only on the blockchain, but through, you know, divisions such as World's Guinness, once we're able to either host the event or maybe sell it through a Christie's or Sotheby's, which at this particular moment, I would refrain from. Not that I wouldn't consider it, but I would refrain from doing it. Everything is done in house on my own accord. It's my own everything, 100% full control. To put it in Christie's or Sotheby's, we're going to be paying out millions of dollars. I'd rather put those millions of dollars to promotion, marketing, distribution, publicity, and do it ourselves. Again, this is future technology. This is future shit. This is for the people that know and understand. This project is not for everybody, nor do we want everybody involved in this project, period. This is the foundation for the establishment of an investment that is long term. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm the artist. I'm also the philanthropist. I'm also the primary investor. This is my legacy. This is my music catalog. These are my commemorative NFTs. All the opportunities that come from there are only upsides. I had a meeting with a venture capital firm several days ago. They tried to push me in a box and push me in a corner where I could have used verticals and horizontals as a defense, as a rebuttal. Had I done that, I would have been devaluing my entire company and everything that I'm trying to do. This is why I rather proceed with caution. I rather measure 24 times and cut once. This is the legacy of myself and my family and all of my descendants from this point forward. So I only want to be surrounded by the best of the best people. Number one, God's people. Number two, every single person has to be the best in their industry or trade, and every single potential uh, person that we bring onto the team will be vetted completely, not just in United States jurisdiction, global jurisdiction. We will have a budget just to be able to vet that we have the best of the best in everything that we do. So, without further ado, I believe I have conveyed everything I wanted to express. Um, I am pretty sure that you understand the technology to a higher degree than the average person. You can always come back to this video um, and analyze it for what it is. There's no better way for me to explain what we're trying to do, what we're doing every single day. Right now, it's still day one. We are building the team first before we even continue. Am I still taking meetings and conversations with venture capital firms? 100%. Absolutely. It's my job. This is what I do. But making the decision, it's a completely different process. Also, it's not just a money thing because there's an abundance of money. There's a very small amount of investment opportunities like this. This is why this is so important. And I have had the last 3, 4 years to prepare for this moment. So now we're in some of the final laps. And, I could sit here and give you a list of all of the elite people that we have, but I wouldn't want to use that as a counter. That's more on the upside. The more people get involved in the projects, the more they will be made aware of some of these things. But I have to proceed with caution. So, for example, Mr. Wesley, I understand that you're traveling and I completely get it. There's no rush, there's no sense of urgency. I rather take my time and vet out each person and make sure that I'm adding only the best of the best to my investment. This is my life's work. This event, once we break the records, and we will break the records, because music is way more powerful than any paintings or drawing people could have done or any beautiful elaborate design that they could have done for the current record holder for the NFTs. My music is my soul. This is my life. This is my spirit. This is my thoughts. This is my real life experiences. 24 genres of music. It's going to change the world. It's going to change the way that we consume music. There's so many opportunities. Every opportunity you can imagine, we already have. But there's a bunch of new ones that we are going to incorporate. So we only want the best of the best. If I was submitting a proposal to the United States Department of Defense, Homeland Security, Air Force, Space Force, I would not be able to submit anything that was not the best of the best. Good enough is not good enough. Having a professional that is not top two, top three in their tier wouldn't be sufficient, wouldn't be acceptable. So I am pursuing this investment with the exact same mentality. I don't want investors, I want business partners long term. This is an investment for 25, 35, 45 years. This is not an investment for 3, 4 months. This is not an investment for 2 or 3 years. The record alone is $120 million. I have every right to request an advance on my technology, my designs, my catalog. Correct? I'm choosing to bypass that and use that venture capital to invest back into the business. How many business partners, how many startups are willing to do that? I know the value of what I'm trying to do. And I have several millions of dollars of my own already invested. So a few $1 million is not going to make or break me. It's not going to impress me. It is not going to stop what I'm doing. I am high end lifestyle, luxury, high end brand. We just happen to be a technology company. This just happens to be creative and artistic. We happen to have the privilege, the advantage, the position of power to not only explore all the known avenues and channels of everything that could lead us to success, as well as creating the opportunities, the budget for ourselves to penetrate all new markets and all new fields with hardware, software. Music and entertainment is just a start. There are many, many verticals, horizontals, from large language learning models, wearable technology, products and services, and the list goes on. I even have franchise opportunities that are all tied together to this investment. So, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the absolute best in every single industry or trade that pertains to all of my investments. And I have a nice, balanced portfolio to offer to the public. So, if this sounds like something that you would like to be a part of, if there's something that you feel in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit that you could contribute to, if these are standards that you're able to meet and exceed, we are interested in having a formal business meeting with you, expecting nothing in return. This is not a hard close. We're not offering anything to you. We're not requesting anything that you may be able to bring to the table. The first thing I want to do is get to know you on a personal level. The second thing I want to do is vet this opportunity completely and to know if you're willing to put yourself through that process, to let us know, to let me know personally as the owner of this company that you are fit to be part of this project, this investment, this company. Because I don't just do business with anybody. And I hold myself to a very, very, very high standard. Philanthropy, charity is very important to me and my loved ones and what we do. These are legacy goals. This is my entire family behind the inspiration to everything that I do. And they're also behind everything that I do. This is holding myself to the same standards as Homeland Security, the Department of Defense, the United States of America, the Air Force, and the Space Force, and anything in between. This is holding myself as beautiful and wonderful as this investment and idea is to be able to execute at the elite level. If this is not your cup of tea, if this is not something that interests you, if this is not something that resonates with you, if the historical component is not something that resonates with you, then this is not the investment for you. And we can always be friends. If there's any way that I can help you, your company, your products, your services, you've made a brother and a friend for life. But business is business. I have to secure that I make the best decisions based on the best data points available to myself for the sake of my loved ones, my future, my legacy, as well as everybody in my company, everybody in this project, business partners, colleagues, friends, family, the whole nine. There are millions of people through my foundation, my works of charity and philanthropy that pray for my success every day, that depend on my success every single day, that depend on my music catalog. I owe it to them to deliver the best. Everything that I've been blessed with in my life, everything that I've been given, every single opportunity, I owe it to all those opportunities to continue to pay that forward by only building successful businesses and companies. One of my models is one of the things that I live by. I only build successful businesses. I'm not interested in shortcuts. I'm not interested in overnight success. I'm not interested in handouts. I'm not interested in cutting corners. I don't speak that language. I only speak the language of a true boss, of a true serial entrepreneur, of a true CEO. This is not just what I do, Mr. Wesley, this is who I am 24/7. I don't have a problem um, putting everything for public display. I've been a public figure my entire life. I don't have a problem addressing you this way because this is the day to day. If you want to get to know me, this is the only way you're ever going to get to know me. I'm the same person today as well as every day of the week, every single month, every year for all eternity. I call it like it is. A spade is a spade, right? There is no gray area. Either we do business in the best possible way or we don't do business at all. We can be friends. We don't have to do business. Does that make sense? In order to do business with me, everybody's held up to this standard. And if you or any person that would want to get involved, if you know that you would apply for a position with the United States of America and you will be turned away for whatever reason, you know this investment is not for you. And you know that this opportunity is not for you. At the same time, and by the same token, the same olive branch is extended. If you do know that you can meet the criteria, if you do know that you have what it takes, you have all of the skills that you need, then you are welcome to be part of this project and part of this investment. And this is again not just a money thing. This is a historical thing. This is uh, an artistic uh, expression. This is something that is going to mark a before and after for all eternity. This is not for everybody. Again, we could easily do business like everybody else. We don't have to hold ourselves to such high standards. It doesn't have to be as important to us. I can offer, an investor a nice percentage royalty return on their money, and boom, I have the money and I can do everything. That's not what I'm interested in. That's not what I want to do. Not only do I have my entire life working on this, not only do I have millions, deca millions of dollars already invested in myself, I will continue to invest deca millions of dollars by myself. So this needs to be clearly understood by everybody that chooses to even try to do business with me and my company, my family, my friends, my family members, my peers, my colleagues, because there are millions of people that depend on the success of everything that I do. And those are the people that I cannot let down. Um, I want to thank you for your time. Have an amazing day. Um, my intention is not to come across harsh or blunt, but dealing with this type of technology, being in this type of business, there is no other standard. If a person's not able to deal with a basic introduction, they're not going to be able to work with me or work on this project moving forward, because this is not what I do. This is who I am every single day. Regardless of whatever the circumstance is, I'm always going to go above and beyond the call of duty. The way that I perceive the world is very unique, and I surround myself by nothing but amazing people. In order to be the best, you have to be the best. Not beat the best, just be the best at everything that you do. I wouldn't have a catalog of 5, 6, 7, 8,000 plus songs if I believed in the results of, let's say, the average, um, you know, artist, human being, or entrepreneur. So my mindset is always in delivering nothing but the utmost best. So even when we thought about hosting the auction in places like Dubai, that's still an avenue we may still uphold, but jurisdiction must be in the United States of America. We want to pay taxes in America, as well as whatever other parts of the world we may have investors or funding or financing from. Again, we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard, because that sets the standard for everything that we do moving forward. This is going to set the tone and the pace for everything that we do as a company and as human beings. This is how important this is. This is my entire legacy. Again, the auction, the NFTs, that's just day one. That's the best way that I can return all investments the day of. Everything else that comes from that, now we're talking serious business. We have a unicorn. We have all the metadata to prove that we have a unicorn. We know that we have a unicorn. I know that I have a unicorn. Therefore, all money is not good money. Every investment firm is not going to meet my criteria. Now, moving forward, when I go sit down with venture capital, they have to basically pass my exam before I even consider to let them know everything that I have in just one of my portfolios. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing day. As promised, I said I would deliver this to you within the next few hours. I wanted to make sure that I kept the format below an hour format because when you make your decision and you decide that this is something that you're interested in, then we can schedule a formal meeting, minimum 2 hours, like the meeting that we scheduled before, just because I want to be able to answer all of your questions as thoroughly as I can. And I do want to discuss very briefly the other verticals and horizontals. Again, any questions, you have my email, you have my LinkedIn, you have my direct phone number. Um, you can reach out to me any way, shape, or form. We're available 24/7, and we're ready to do business. We're ready to move forward. Um, we have a lot of amazing people on the staff, but there are still a few key specific areas where I still want more refinement. I want more assistance. I want more of a restructuring or re-strengthening of our structure. And you happen to be one of those individuals because you understand the technology. And whatever you may not understand, master or dominate, I am a master and I can explain everything to you as far as answering just about any question that you can have. I highly doubt, me being a creative person myself, that anybody else will be able to explain this technology or this investment or even this industry or trade the way that I'm able to. And there are other industries that you're involved in that I'm also interested in, and I also have resources and different investments that I've kind of cultivated over the years, and I see a lot of potential for long-term growth. Again, I have no choice but to hold myself to the highest of highest standards. I don't see myself doing anything in my life that is not of the utmost highest of highest standards. And, making sure everybody has, like a FBI level background approval before we do any type of business. Making sure that everybody's background is completely squeaky clean. You're dealing with somebody that, you know, is very highly regarded in very, very powerful circles. And again, the way that I choose to do business is completely different from most people. And these are some of those standards. And actually, one of the people that is involved in this project is a celebrity that when this person came into the company, it was a standard that this person was promoting to the youth, to the new entrepreneur generations, and it's something that we decided to uphold as a company moving forward because we have not only that person, but we have several key individuals that would not even fandom considering anything below that, and they're all basic things. They're all basic examples, but I feel the greatest moving forward, knowing that we're holding ourselves to the highest of the highest standards. These are the key elements that will always keep the doors open for me in places like in BlackRock and in Blackstone. And I don't speak a different language. I do not see myself doing business in any other way. So, once again, thank you for your time. Have an amazing day. May you conquer everything in your path. May everything that you touch turn into solid gold. And beautiful and precious gemstones such as moissanite and laboratory grown diamonds. Always remember to dream big because dreams come true. It happened to me, and I know for a fact it's going to happen to you. So I look forward to hearing from you, Mr. Wesley. Take your time. Again, there's no rush. Um, I would not be ready to have another meeting in less than 72 hours. If not, then we can schedule something for the following 2 weeks, as I will be basically nonstop venture capital meetings with different firms, investments and finances and things like that, as well as reaching out to other potential people that can get involved with the project. So shout out to all my friends and family. I love all of you guys, and you are my inspiration. Everything that I do is for you. For all of my students, my followers, my colleagues, my business partners, my family members, my relatives, my peers, my children, my grandchildren, um, let this serve as a basis, as a baseline, and as a foundation for everything that we do. That everything that we do when we are in public is to represent our family to the utmost, highest of highest standards. Not just a 5 star system, but a 5 diamond system, which is royalty class. Um, let's make sure that everything that we do every single day reflects that. Thank you for your time and God bless. Jonathan Marte Pena, the artist known as Venom R1. Today is April the 9th, 10:10 Pacific Standard Time, West Coast time. Holla at your boy, Wesley.